joining us today to talk about our stitching and other stuff. Almost to November. Can you believe it? Next week's Halloween. Okay.
Yeah, I think because our weather's been so summery, that doesn't seem real to me. Like, it doesn't seem like we really had an October yet.
Yeah.
But people, we got rain.
Yeah.
We're getting more rain.
We did too. There was frost this morning, a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah.
I pulled up everything in my garden pretty much yesterday. All the tomatoes went into a box, and
yep, it's time.
Yeah, it was time because we're supposed to get kind of a good hard freeze. I think it's supposed to be pretty low tonight. So
our yard is just starting to green up again, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Very nice. And the air quality. We had the worst. If you don't follow me on Instagram, Seattle area had the worst air quality in the world on Wednesday and Thursday. In the world, we were worse than New Delhi. It was us in Portland and New Delhi. We were worse than Beijing.
So amazing.
From the wildfires, it was bad. And it was such a. I walked outside to get the mail Thursday night when it was just kind of starting to rain, and we were waiting for the breeze to kind of come and start whooshing that stuff out. And the air just smelled. It didn't smell like smoke. It just had a really weird, icky smell. You'd think it would smell like a campfire, but it didn't very often to me. There were a couple of days I smelled a whiff of campfire. It was getting so bad that even though we had the house shut up, with everything was shut up, and we have good windows on our house and stuff, but houses are leaky. I went to bed early Wednesday night because my eyes were burning and itchy, stinging, and it wasn't pleasant to even watch TV or anything. So
crazy.
Yeah, it was bad. So
it really did blow over here. I think we got rain kind of instead when it kind of started. When it would have maybe blown over here, we had some rain, which probably helped clear out.
I wonder where it all went. Wenatchee?
I don't know. But we had a day where it was a little bit, like we've had a little bit of wood smoke or wildfire smoke, but not much. So I've been thankful. We really kind of escaped this whole year almost with nothing. Maybe a couple days with maybe close to unhealthy, and then nothing else, which in the past few years we've gone days and days and days with unhealthy or dangerous for sensitive groups so
it was about 3 weeks that we've been battling this off and on, but the last week especially was really bad, and it was dangerous for everybody. And of course my husband's out there delivering mail with his window down all day. That was real pleasant. In fact, I knew he was coughing. We both have coughs because of our blood pressure medicine. So I'm used to he and I coughing in the evening, but he was coughing a lot more. And Friday morning he was off work and I hadn't gotten up yet. But I woke up and I thought, oh, he must be in the shower because I didn't hear a thing. Usually when he's sitting at the computer in our den across from our bedroom, I can hear him clear his throat or cough or whatever. I heard nothing for 10 minutes. I'm like, where are you? He goes, I'm right here. So it was like, it just wasn't coughing.
It's fine. Interesting. Right, baby. Yeah. If you're new to our channel, we are a tri-generational cross stitch channel because my daughters are also cross stitchers, and we're in Washington State, but on opposite sides of the state, which is why we've had such bad wildfire smoke the last few years because we're out in the Wild West. But
it's a new phenomenon.
So I think I just have one girl today, and my new puppy. I know I introduced him last week, but somebody brought him over to my lap before we started recording, and he's kind of sleepy, so I'll probably pass him off in a minute. I thought before I forget, I was going to mention if you've joined us for the Shepherd's Bush stitch along that we were doing, and you want to enter kind of for a prize, and you sent me a before and an after, it's not too late if you happen to take a before picture but forgot to send it before you're stitching this month on your Shepherd's Bush project. You can still send that, but I want them all in by Halloween, which is next Monday, a week from, today's Sunday the 23rd, so a week from tomorrow, or a week from when I put this video up probably, and then we will have a little prize for somebody.
We actually have a couple. Sanctum Stitching has been promoting this on her and her husband's Flosstube, and she did message me that she bought a little prize. So we've got a couple prizes. I don't know. Do you think people that are? I don't know people that are following her. Yeah,
they've
I
got
haven't watched,
her.
I didn't watch their most recent video.
Yeah, I need to check in with her
Oh.
and see if she knows of people
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. So anyway, that's coming to an end already.
I know it sounded so
Right.
far away when we first started, like, oh, you've got till Halloween, and now I'm like, oh, it's almost Halloween.
I know. It just doesn't seem like I said, because August or October just felt like August.
Yeah,
We didn't really have fall yet.
I know, hardly at all.
Yep.
Well,
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, nothing else really new here, I don't think. Just life, just lots of busy life stuff. You said you have a previous finish. We don't have a featured friend this week. I'm saving the ones from Shepherd's Bush Stitch Along. We'll do them all
In a special little presentation.
in a special one, not next week, but probably the week after. Can you not do that right here, please? It's distracting, it's noisy, and I'm afraid you're going to knock over my computer. Thank you. She's spinning in circles. So I don't have a featured friend, but you said you had a.
I did. When I was cleaning out my bedroom closet the other day, this was tucked way back behind a couple of baskets. It is a birth sampler. It's not really a sampler, but it's a birth piece that I stitched for my youngest son, Samuel. I wish I knew who the designer was. I can still see the pamphlet in my mind's eye, and I know I've seen it around. It's
Oh yeah,
it's this one, and it says, "It is not a slight thing when they who are so fresh from God love us." And that's from famous poet. Oh, who's it by? I can't remember right now off the top of my head. There's like,
it doesn't say on the pattern.
Oh, it's got specialty stitch there, like an Algerian something or other.
That's pretty. And it looks like fancy flosses or variegated thread or something. Is it? Or is it just the way that lighting is? Oh, maybe it's just
the way it is. And then there's some little, I think, satin stitches or something right there. It's not good.
Yeah.
And then a little tiny baby shoe charm. It's all tarnished now. I think it used to be silver.
Did you stitch that close to his birth date or later?
Yeah, I think I had it done before he was born.
Ah, okay.
No, wait, 1996. 1996. The year after I finished it the year after he was born.
Cute.
Because he was born in 95. But you know, this is the thing. Like, I don't think he really wants it, or I'm like, what do people do with their children's birth samplers that they had in their bedrooms when they were little? I guess just keep it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would enjoy, if grandma had made you one, I would enjoy having that, and the girls would probably, so there's some piece of posterity for some people, but not everybody's wired.
Do you still have that one that was stamped cross stitch that my aunt did for me?
What does it look like?
Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure I gave it to you.
What is of?
I don't remember. It had like a little umbrella on it. It was pinks and blues, and it was not cross stitched, it was embroidered. And I could just kind of vaguely see it in my mind's eye, but I feel like I remember giving it to you maybe when you had Liddy, but I don't know why I would give it to you. I don't know why I would give it to you.
That doesn't ring a bell. I have a couple, like I have a little tiny sampler with my name on it that you probably did. I should bring that down sometime. I don't think I've ever shared that. Maybe next week I'll grab that.
I don't know what happened to that piece.
I think I have anything like that.
I feel like I hung it up in your room when you were little, huh?
Who did it for you?
My Aunt Vicky, back when we were like speaking. Back before we had the big ribbon.
Doesn't ring a bell. If I saw it, I might be like, oh yeah, I remember having that.
Oh, it's been so long. I've kind of forgotten about it until just now when you said that.
I'll have to think about it. Unless it's in like a bin of keepsake stuff, because I have a bin of stuff that was kind of in my room.
I bet it is. If you have it, I bet that's where it is.
So if I have it, that's probably where it is, but I haven't. It doesn't ring a bell, but it might be in there.
Oh yeah. I don't know where it would be at my house, because I don't really have, unless it's stuck in a box in the attic somewhere.
Yeah, I can look actually when I clean out
anyway, I won't get rid of this. I'll keep it. But yeah.
I have a finished knit. So I remember that overalls that I didn't make for the baby at church. I made him a hat instead. I think it turned out super cute.
That's so cute.
Tin Can Knits has a recipe for cowls and hats, and it has all the sizes. Did I talk about it last week? And I
Fair
and I
Isle.
filmed it in our last video. And so this is what the Fair Isle pattern ended up looking like. And
Cute.
it turned out super cute. And I think it's all, I did all the, I have a couple ends to just trim. But they're all woven in. I just didn't have scissors with me when I was weaving them in for some reason. So that's my finish for the week. I was pleased. I thought it turned out really cute. And I really do like stitching Fair Isle. I'm better at it than I used to be. I've learned how to hold 2 colors at a time, one in this hand, one in this hand, and I can knit like continental and what's the other one? There's the 2 kinds of knitting, and I can't remember the other name for it, but there's like
throwing.
Yeah, I can throw and I can knit. I can throw and I can pick with one and the other. So that makes it really easy to keep track of 2 colors. And this one only has 2 colors per row. So, there's one more thread in there. Anyway, I thought it turned out really cute and it made me kind of want to do a little.
Is there a third color in it in other places though?
Yes.
Show it then.
So, like the first row, it's just gray and green.
Yeah, I see.
And then the second row is green is yellow, the gold and the gray. The next one is the gold and the green. And so there's only, can somebody turn that timer off?
Yeah, so you're just working with 2 at a time.
So you're just working with 2, which is pretty typical for most traditional Fair Isle patterns. It's really unusual. If you have multiple colors, you still usually have 2 in one row.
In one row, yeah.
Probably really intricate patterns, but most kind of traditional Fair Isle is just 2 per row.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have so much you're managing and carrying, and it gets really bulky behind to carry that many along the back. So
yeah, I haven't done that for a long time.
I've got that. Yeah, I've got that done.
Good.
And yeah, what have you worked on this week?
Well, I would have had a finished knitted object if I hadn't totally messed up.
Oh no.
So I've been knitting this tin can knits, which I've never knit anything of theirs.
If you want to pull over
better
sit here, you may.
For my new to be nephew in a month. So I think did I have one sleeve totally done last time?
I don't know if it was done all the way, but it was done.
Okay, so I did finish one sleeve and I've got so many ends. So I got this sleeve done and I got it little cuffed up here, little ribbing cuff. And I started the second sleeve.
Yeah.
And I now think I understand why somebody that I follow on Instagram who knit a whole bunch of these sweaters for babies that she knew, friends of hers that were having babies and family, she did not ever do the garter thing in the sleeve. And I think I know why. It's a pain in the royal butt.
Really?
Well, because for some reason I look and I think I'm reading my knitting okay and I'm doing my garter rows, but sometimes a garter in the round, you
have to purl
part of the yeah. Well, sometimes I did 2 knit rows in a row. So then it breaks up your garter stripe, which it did a little bit on this one. But on the second sleeve, I was so mad because I took this, my husband had a cardioversion on Friday and I took it to the hospital and I had this little sleeve almost ready to do the cuff the night before last. And I looked and I had not just done 2 knit rows in there. I had done like 3 and it showed.
Oh.
And I had done all the decreases. So it had you were at 36 stitches. It has you decrease 2 and then knit 6 rows, decrease 2, knit 6 rows, I had done almost all of those. I did not want to rip it back because I've got this garter detail in there and I didn't want to have to try to pick that up if I just let it rip. So I basically spent yesterday morning
unknitting all of that.
Unknitting. And then when we went to our friend's house and we went out to dinner, went to their house for dessert, I sat there and unknit and unknit and unknit. I don't even know how many rows I knit. It was a lot of unknitting. So I was mad at myself for not seeing that. So now I'm going to actually write it down. I'm tired of trying to say, oh yeah. And I know what a knit row looks like. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this yarn. Telling if I had just done a knit row or a purl row. So anyway, I was a little disappointed, but it will get done and it won't take long. These little bitty sleeves don't take long.
Yeah, once you've got it.
Definitely needs to get blocked because I feel like this raglan, it's kind of bunchy.
Oh yeah. I would think it's that if you
blocked out. It just needs to be stretched out, but it's a cute little sweater. And I would do this again, but I won't do that
Right.
pattern in there. It's a easy enough sweater pattern for a little over, and it's all sizes. So
Yeah, I know. I love it.
yeah. But that just, I don't know. I guess I just don't pay attention enough to my knitting to do that.
Maybe you were just kind of in a groove and you didn't even realize that you had just hit through.
I think so. Anyway, hopefully next week that will be a finished item.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Back to doing lots of knitting. Must be fall. Oh, we forgot to let Millie show.
Oh, okay, Millie.
Okay, Millie. Millie has been complaining about this though. You want to tell what your thinking process is about this?
I don't want to do it.
Say it again on your camera. Like,
I see her.
what'd you say?
I don't want to do it anymore.
You don't want to do it
Do
anymore?
this one anymore?
Yes.
Then don't do it.
I don't know. I just don't like it.
You don't
I
like
mean,
it?
I like it, but I don't like stitching it.
You're not having fun stitching it?
Which one is it?
Color changes? No, you've done the, show it and then,
It's a teacup and the bird, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just put it aside. Maybe someday you'll pick it up again and say, I really like that.
that's what I keep saying.
Put it away in a
Put
Ziploc.
it away for a while and do something different.
Awfully
It is
cute,
cute,
though.
but if you're tired of doing
But I have
it,
so many other things that I want to stitch.
this morning after breakfast, she goes, I just have so many things I want to stitch. I just don't know what to do. It's like, that's
Put
every
that in a Ziploc bag and
dilemma.
put it in your craft basket or whatever you put your stuff in and leave it there. You might be 20 years old when you see that and go, I really like that. That'd be really cute in my kitchen.
Or you might just need a break from it and do something different and you'll be excited to go back to it.
Why do you think Mommy and Mimi have multiple projects going?
Because I don't want to work on the same thing every day. Some
Mhm.
people like to, but I don't.
Maybe you're
I
becoming
used to.
maybe you're becoming a multi-stitcher now.
I don't want to.
You want to be a monogamous stitcher.
Yes.
Well, then I guess you got two options.
Better finish it.
Slog through it
Yeah.
or put it away. I mean, there's only two ways you can go here.
There's two choices. Finish it or don't finish it.
And it's not world peace. It's not life threatening. Your whatever choice you make isn't going to, end the world. And
This
It
is
was still
supposed to
there.
be a hobby that's fun. And if you're not having fun, then maybe you should change it. Maybe
something.
you have the knitting bug right now and you just want to knit a lot. Sort of. You just have a knitting bug.
Oh, yeah. I think the change of season, maybe.
I don't have anything to knit.
You're knitting that blanket.
Yeah, but that's for when I can't sleep.
Oh, well, you can knit it anytime. Oh, well, okay. We can problem solve this later. You can choose something else to knit as well.
Okay, so apparently she showed her stuff. It's very cute.
Tell Millie,
like
if
it.
you're watching, you can leave a comment telling Millie what to do. We can take a vote. How many people think Millie should just do something different and how many people think Millie should just finish that? But then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks because it just matters what you want to do.
I want to knit.
Well, okay
I
then.
keep messing it up. Ow, stop.
Okay, well, bye.
Sounds like a
Seems like a
big
problem we'll have to deal with later, I guess.
Yep, sounds like a pretty intense problem here.
First world problems.
I don't really like my cross stitch, but I really want to knit it.
I really don't want to be, I just want to be a monogamous stitcher, but I don't want to stitch monogamously. I really want to knit, but I can't. I don't want to knit.
I keep making mistakes.
Oh my gosh. I keep making mistakes. I don't know what she's talking about making mistakes on. Like she doesn't have a project that I know of that she's been making mistakes. Maybe
knows?
it's a cat. Well, she was working on some leg warmers and I said I needed to help her make sure that there was enough heat for each leg warmer. So, like I was gonna put some of like on waist yarn and then but I keep forgetting and then she was cross stitching a lot and so I need to look at what she was doing to help her.
Oh, Millie.
Trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, what else have you been? Wait, you haven't shown any. You showed your knitting.
Show my knitting. Yeah, you want me to go first with my stitching?
Yeah. Did you show anything? No, not yet. But you were talking about how I don't know.
I knit a lot. Well, I knit off and on.
Oh, your sweater. Yeah, you showed the sweater.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I did work on this pattern. I don't think I showed this last week. It's the spooky.
Oh yeah, you talked about how wanting to
I
do
don't
that.
think I don't think I worked on it until this week. And this is a pattern by Primitive Stitchin', and the designer is Shelley Auen, A-U-E-N. And I don't know if
Yeah.
there's never any new patterns by her, but her stuff is still up for sale on Etsy.
Mhm.
They're very primitive. I don't see anybody talk about her. Maybe she's passed away. I don't really know. I don't even know if there's a date on
Maybe
here.
she just doesn't design anymore. Maybe she went on
Maybe
to
not. I don't know. I don't see a date. Anyway, so I had just basically worked on this big shoe that's going to come down. It's a funky shaped
A lot of
shoe.
black.
Yeah, there's a lot of black.
Cute.
So worked on that a little bit. It was kind of boring. I wasn't really feeling it that
I
night.
want to do it, but I don't want to do it.
But it's on my wheel, so
I
I
want it to be done so I can do something different.
started that, I think, in 2020.
Yeah, I was thinking that you started it maybe around when we just started Flosstubing or
Yeah. It's a real big project. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time finishing it. Jeez. It's 4
you
colors.
want it done, but you don't want to do it.
So my second thing I worked on a lot. This was on my
Oh,
my magazine monthly for E in the word festive. I said I only needed to do 2 hours, but I thought I had to do 4. So I did a lot. So I basically did all of that, and all of that. I think I had just a little bit of this, and I don't know what this thing is.
is it a mitten?
Well, the weird thing is there's smoke curls that come up over here, but it's not a chimney, and it's pink and white. If anybody's
Can you
seen
show
this,
me the folder?
it's really hard to see.
Oh yeah, it is hard to see.
Let's see if it'll focus.
I have no clue. Let me see. Cricut collection.
Winter. Yeah, and I thought, oh, okay. So then I look at the directions for the back stitching that's there above the W, and that's supposed. I think it's the smoke, because there's no other back stitching that looks like smoke.
Let me zoom into it here and let me see if I can tell.
Yeah, I just don't know what it is. I'm like, am I being dense?
I'm trying to find a good picture of it. No, that's Etsy. I don't want to watch that.
If anybody has stitched this or can zoom in,
Yeah,
or
what is that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Here, I'm trying to get into like the 1, 2, 3 stitch.
Kind of bugs me. I don't know what I'm stitching.
Yeah, that would bug me too if I couldn't tell.
Mhm. Yeah, I thought, well, there's smoke coming out of the W, so you'd think there'd be like a little chimney, but there's no chimney, just a
I
smoke.
don't know, and I can't zoom in. If I zoom in too much, it just pixelates, so I can't really
Yeah.
tell. I have no clue what that is.
Anybody knows, please enlighten me. The
Yeah,
other thing I worked on, just really love this piece. I don't know why I'm so in love with it, but I just really am. I think it's a combination of the colors and my fabric.
is it the
This is
tree
just
one?
the Hobby Lobby. It's the Heart Home Stitch This
Oh yeah, that's a cute one though. That's why.
V.
Yeah.
It's easy. I worked on this. I did
Oh,
that.
that's pretty.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah, that is pretty.
I just love it, actually. I think I have to look at her shop and see what her other ones are. I think I've looked at them, but I don't know if I bought any of the other ones. And then she gives you 2 birds. She gives you the American, because there's a bird.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She gives you the European goldfinch or the American goldfinch pattern. Which is nice. You can stitch whichever one you want. So that got worked on. And this got worked on. It's my 4 seasons. I was looking at my list here to see if I missed anything. She's the winter girl. I kind of wish that I had stopped the white that I was doing and gone to B5200, which is not what she gives.
It'd be
It's
brighter.
pretty, it shows in the picture that she sends, it shows up really well, but it's not super bright.
Yeah, I mean, it's really pretty.
It's popping more now that there's more colors around it.
Right.
So I did some of this, I did all the pink, and I started these blue snowflakes.
Yeah, it's too bad it's not B52 or like a gray or something that really
Yeah.
pops off, because that's the fabric that it came with too, right?
Yeah. But if you look at, if I don't know if it'll show, it's such a small little picture. But if you look at the picture,
Yeah, it shows more.
yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I'm not picking that all out. Maybe I'll,
I
what
think
maybe I'll switch to B52 for her dress.
yeah,
There's a lace hem in her dress and there's snowflakes in her dress.
yeah, maybe doing it that way.
Uh-huh.
Maybe
At least make that part pop. Keep
the other
the,
thing I could think of would be doing like a one strand X over all of that stuff you just did if you really wanted it. But I don't know if it's worth it. I think it stands out enough. It just doesn't super pop out.
right. And I thought, well, it's definitely popping out more than it was before I did the blue and the pink. So that did help it. But yeah, it's super. Anyway, but for sure, I want her dress to pop out. So
Yeah.
for sure, I think I'm going to substitute that in. Maybe the fabric ended up being a little darker than what she stitched it on. I don't know. Her original.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But then my whole goal had been to, was to really work on my whip go pieces because I was behind.
Yeah.
But then yesterday I ended up not doing, in the morning, I didn't do anything. I did all that unknitting.
Oh yeah.
Friday, I don't know what I worked. I worked on my Four Seasons girls that evening. We were pretty laid low, pretty good. So those of you that followed me on Instagram and sent us happy thoughts and prayers, I appreciate it. Carrie's cardio version was unsuccessful. So now we're going to be talking to the doctor about the next steps. But I realize now I need to be more involved in his appointment making. I usually make all of his appointments because he's working. He doesn't have time to hold for 60 minutes to talk to a scheduler, which is what we're dealing with right now. And so, but somebody had reached out to him to schedule this cardio version when he was at work and he answered it. So we scheduled it. And I thought, okay, well, I didn't really know much about them or how long they took or any of this stuff. And so, you know, he said, yeah, we have to be there at 11:30, procedures at noon. I'm like, oh, okay. So my son drove us in, which I was so thankful for because it was the first rainy day of the season and we were downtown Seattle and I hate it down there and I hate that parking garage. So anyway, we get there and we got there at 11:30 and he sits there for like 20 minutes, 25 minutes and they come bring him back about 5 to noon. And she goes, okay. I go, well, so like, how long will this take? You know, when will I kind of expect to get a call? She's like, well, the procedure's at 1:15. And I'm like, it's noon. She goes, well, it takes us a while to get everything prepped. And I thought, well, I guess, yeah, it is a heart thing. But I was like, that's like an hour and 15 minutes of prep time. And then she said, then maybe an hour after that. I'm like, okay, so we're kind of judging, you know, based on that. Of course, he doesn't keep his phone, doesn't need it. But I'm like, I wonder if they're on time. I wonder what's going on up there. Because we were in another building again, where we're having this done. No coffee shop, no cafeteria, nothing. Everything got taken out during 2020. So we're just sitting there, my son and I. And so finally, I don't know, it was about 12:15. We thought we had another 45 minutes probably before we get a call. He said, Mom, let me go get us some lunch. So he ran down the street, got us burgers, and he was just almost back to the hospital when I got the call that Carrie was ready to go, like a half hour earlier than we thought. And
prepped him really fast or something.
Well, yeah, and the thing is that when the nurse called me, he goes, are you waiting for Mr. Carey? And I said, well, yeah. And he goes, well, he's ready to go. And he says, anybody called you? I said, no. He goes, well, that's weird. And I thought, how long has he been ready?
That's weird. Yeah.
So I called my son and he got back really quick. I wolfed down this hamburger and took a few sips of my soda. And then I had to run across to a different building and go up to where he was. He's sitting there in the bed, still in his, you know, just in the gown. He's had a package
ready to go.
He wasn't ready to go.
Ready.
I think they just wanted, you know, if I wanted to be with him, which I did.
Yeah, right.
So I walk in there and he looks a little flushed. And I went over to him. I said, are you okay? He goes, did they tell you? And I said, tell me what? And he goes, it was unsuccessful. And I'm like, no, but I'm sorry, honey. And he said, I think it was just the anesthesia, Kim. But when they told me that, I kind of teared up. I said, honey, anesthesia makes you really feel your feelings, because when he was on narcotics for his knee surgery, he was really emotional. And I think it just loosens that barrier down for him to really feel the feels, but he just blames it on the
usually just blocks out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not me. It's just the anesthesia making me be that way.
I'm not feeling that deeply. I'm fine.
No. Yeah. So he already had applesauce, crackers, juice, some other snack. And I'm like, how long have you been waiting for me? He goes, well, it's probably been a good 25 minutes. I was so irritated.
Well, I just got the call and I rushed over.
Right. So then my son's, and I couldn't go back up till my son got back because his laptop was there because he was working. And so then there was a big brouhaha with medications and getting out of there. And I called my son, don't get the car yet. We seem to be having a problem here. You know, and Carrie just wanted it out of there, you know, and the thing was they were training a nurse. So the guy that called me was first day on the job. And Carrie wanted them to take the IV out of his hand and so he can get dressed. Oh no, sir, we don't take that out till right before we wheel you down in case something were to happen. We'd have to access it again really fast.
Well, I need
Carrie's
to put
like,
clothes on.
Carrie's like, but I'm walking out of here.
Yeah. And nothing's going to happen.
Right. What's going to happen? And so it's finally the nurse that's training him. She was a piece of work. She comes in and she's like, blah, 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 blah. And she was the one that was causing all the problems with the medication. And I thought if you just read his aftercare instructions right in front of you, we wouldn't have had this problem. But she's telling me I need to call the cardiology department. I need to call the coagulation clinic. And I'm like, why did the cardiologist who just did this procedure not leave us directions? Why do I have to call? Anyway, so I was glad to get out of there, and Carrie was too. So he gets up, she leaves, he goes to the bathroom, throws his clothes on. He still had it. He left his pants on. He just had to put his shirt on. And he goes, okay, we're out of here. Yeah, you're out of here. So I took his hand and we walked out of there because I think he was kind of disappointed he didn't get to wheel me out. Too bad, buddy. This man is not going to be wheeled out. But this is the hard thing. They actually did 3 jolts, and they upped it each time. And they just said, you've probably been an AFib a lot longer than we know or you know, and that just doesn't want to respond to this. So, oh well, back to the drawing board.
Yeah, that sucks.
Well, the other thing, this is what got me. When he got this diagnosis, we were assured by somebody that this would not keep him from getting his knee replacement. If people live with AFib, some people never go, you know, it's managed by medication. But then I guess he was chatting with the nurse anesthetist that was sitting with him when he woke up or before he went to sleep or whatever. And they were talking about how they even found the AFib because he wasn't really feeling it. He was tired, and that's about all he noticed. But he's also 67 and he works 6 days a week. So who wouldn't be tired, right? And so they were talking about his knee, and she said, oh, this shouldn't keep you from having your knee replacement when they schedule you. Well, this nurse that came in to cause all the brouhaha, she's like, well, you know, we got to get this under control because you're not going to get that knee done until this is under control, and blah, 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 blah. And Carrie's like, whatever. And then he says to me later, the nurse anesthetist, who's the anesthesiologist, told me this would not be a problem. So he just blew off what she was saying, but she was trying to be an advocate, but in a really weird, not very supportive way, I think. So anyway, all that to say, I was toast by Friday night. I just think I worked on, oh, I know what I did Friday night. I left him here. Huh? You're
probably knitting.
I did, because what happened was I was going over to babysit Penny because they had made plans for my daughter-in-law's birthday, but they didn't in October. They didn't get to, or September, they didn't get to go because Penny had hand, foot, and mouth. So they rescheduled. They got a refund, or they were able to reschedule this event they were going to in downtown. It's like a dinner theater thing. Anyway, so I had already said that I babysit Penny, and she was in bed when I got there. I didn't have to do anything, just sit there and watch TV, but I did knit. Yeah. I brought my cross stitch, but I just didn't feel like it. But I did last night meet my goal for my Whip Go hoity-toity.
Oh, good.
I did a little bit of detail work around here, and I added sort of that cardinal.
Oh, that's so pretty.
And I actually, right down here is the bottom of the first page. So I will just have this to do.
Nice.
And I think this is all first page. Yeah, this is all. So this to here is the first page of the pattern. Pretty. I had it all done, and I was because this bird has some shaping, right? There's some indenting. I was off 1 row at the bottom. So I had to rip out 4 rows last night at 1 in the morning. I thought, okay, I'm just going to bed. But I think I will finish him before I put this away tonight.
Yeah.
And that's the last he'll be on my Whip Go, but I now have 2 bingos on my Whip Go board. I have 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. And then this, so what I have left to work on now, the rest of this month is my Christmas and Hawk Run Holo and my Ring Around the Rose Tree, and I'll be caught up.
Nice.
So I think I might work on those tonight a little bit
Yeah.
and then work on a few other little things. My shepherd's bush, because I didn't work on that this week.
I hardly did.
But you know what's left on my whip go board for the rest of the year for November, December? Gathering eggs twice. Hawk Run Hollow. And Sunflower Fairy.
Oh.
And it's kind of fun because here, look at, you'll be impressed. It's all, look at this yellow.
Oh yeah.
Stuck with it. It's stuck with it. I do like it. It really does. It does really get me going on my bigger pieces.
Yeah.
I like the way I did it this year, having all big pieces. I'm going to put all big pieces on it next year too.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what I have left. Well, I'm behind on 2. Yeah, I think I'm behind on 2 different squares.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got time to make it up.
2, 3, 4. That makes sense because I have 6 squares left. 2 that are behind, and then 4. 2 for November, 2 for December.
Yeah.
So
that's all I worked on. What have you worked on?
Well, not my Whitco pieces. And I'm sort of higgledy-piggledy scattered everywhere. The thing I've been working on the most is probably my, what's it called? Tunnel of Trees, which again, I don't have a good picture for, so I'll just show it. But
oh my gosh, I saw somebody on Instagram, one of these artists that does like artwork on Instagram.
Yeah.
I think I saved it. Somebody posted one that reminded me so much.
I think I saw it too. Maybe you shared it with me or something.
I might have. Yeah, I might have.
It did look a lot like this piece. Oh, yeah.
Yes. I don't know if I did. It's Mary Making and Mirth is the designer. She's got really cute things. I sometimes screenshot them and then shrink them down and make them into my wallpapers and my screensavers on my phone. But did you find it? I can't show it on my
no,
phone because the glare is too bad.
What's it called again?
Mary Making and Mirth. I don't know if I tagged you in it.
Well, maybe I saw it myself. I feel like I saw something.
Do you follow them?
No. That's why I thought maybe you
tagged me. I might have tagged you in it.
Is it a recent? Oh, is it this one?
Yes. Is that the one you're thinking of?
No, I saw something else that was kind of similar to this.
This just reminded me of the little trick-or-treaters standing there with the big spooky house and the trees and the big moon. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's mine. My version. I got the moon is done except for just filling in where the branches cross over it. So that's
cool.
Little bird, the crow.
Cool.
Or raven.
Yeah.
And
is that branch going up to it new too?
No, I had done that before I started the moon because that's how I counted up to the moon.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be more branches kind of coming up on either side, and then a couple more houses, and
Okay.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I've got a little dog. What's fun is that Rosie's going to be Dorothy for Halloween, so I'm smiling thinking about how I've been stitching Dorothy this fall.
It's cute.
We found a little costume for her. Maybe they'll show their costumes next week or something. So I've been doing that for the 13 stitches of Halloween. I have one more day left for that. And then this isn't even worth showing, but I did a teensy bit on my shepherd's bush. So I might as well show it because it's sitting here.
It's such a cute pattern.
I started on that house and then I realized I made a little mistake. So I had to rip it back. And then I didn't get very far after the mistake. So, and I did actually work on this some this week because I did some of this at the park. I was with my
cute. I love it.
So actually I did more than I remembered.
Uh-huh.
So that's my shepherd's bush little thing for the stitch along. And let's see, what's this guy here? Oh, I worked on Turkey Day, my big turkey.
Oh, I haven't seen that for a while.
I know. I pulled it out last night. I was like, I got to do something that I haven't worked on for a while. So I pulled him out and I'm working on his body still. And I pretty much have almost all the little yellow of his body kind of all filled in. You can see.
Oh, wow. He's really coming along.
let me go. Here we go. So I have all, see how this doesn't have the yellow, but this does. So I have just a couple more spaces. All that blue is all filled in with yellow.
That blue is new though, right?
No, I think I had that the last time. It was new the last time I showed it. I
Okay.
think I had only done that in my last time that I pulled this out. And then there's a whole bunch down here and another whole bit of tail. So really I have a lot left, but
He's big.
plus
He's a
all
big
the,
boy.
but he is so pretty. I just think the colors are so vibrant. They're even
We
better.
went to a pumpkin patch last week with Penny, and they had like little zoo, farm animals, and they had a pen with a turkey like that. You don't see them very often. Really colorful. I mean, not quite those colors, but I thought, oh wow, that's a really beautiful bird.
Yeah.
The female looked kind of boring and haggard, but
some of those male turkeys are so pretty. Ours is just white this year. He's not very interesting looking, but he is really pretty. I finished my third square.
You were so close.
I was so close. I pulled it out. I was like, I'm doing this tonight before I go to bed. And I did. I finished it all the way.
Oh, look at that.
All finished up.
Well done.
I know. I'm happy about that.
I'm kind of excited to work on my Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow tonight because I'm kind of, you know, once I get going on those, I do like them. Although I'm on that monster house, so it's not going to be real exciting stitching like your little.
No, but it feels so good when you get a square done. It's like basically the whole piece done.
It is. I know. A full coverage piece.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a small. It's just 12 smalls in one. Doesn't want to fit in that bag. And
that
then
pretty epic.
let me pull up a picture of this on my phone. This is my Haid. I have been making what I feel is good progress, although you can't really tell. Here is my.
I bet we'll be able to tell.
I mean, I can tell, but. So I think I'm at 1,800 something stitches now on my tiny traveler. So this is artwork by Annie Stagg, designed by Heaven and Earth Designs. And yeah, having Pattern Keeper has made a whole ton of difference in how much I want to stitch on this.
I wonder if I'm going to remember how to use my Pattern Keeper since you were here, because I haven't done it since then.
I need to get one of those spool things that keeps my.
Yeah.
But here.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah, so I've got from here to here is one page, one down, and then I can't remember how many over the pages, but I decided I'm missing a couple colors, which is why there's a few spaces down there because I need to buy a few more DMCs. And what I did, I went down and then I went to the top and went down. But this time I think I'm going to go over and up because what I found was I was parking a bunch off to this side. And that happened here too, where I would park down and then I would get to a square and already have a bunch parked off to the side, which makes a lot of sense if you're going to work sideways and then up. But if I start here and go down, let's say I start a thread here and then I keep working down and I get to here and I'm like, oh, well, I already have that color parked. So then I had to figure out, well, do I use this thread? So I think what I'm going to do to resolve that is go here and up. And then here and down and here and up, and I'll zigzag. And then each time I'll just keep parking it off to the side.
Okay.
See if that works.
Yeah.
Have less of that issue. I don't know. There's probably a way that you're supposed to do that, but.
Well, I think people
maybe that's why people do that diagonal. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are doing it kind of all different ways, to be honest. Whatever seems to make the most sense to you.
Yeah. So once I get going on this, it's hard to stop. I think it's pretty satisfying to like do a whole square of this color and then pick up a parked thread and do a whole square of that color.
Yeah.
The last thing I worked on, I started a long promised sweater to Rosie. And we picked out, she really wanted a hooded sweater. And it was kind of hard to find one for sock yarn. A lot of sweaters in her size are DK. So this uses a sock yarn and it's called Took and it's by Gabrielle Dance Knit, I think is her name.
I've never even seen that pattern before.
Yeah, I dug and dug and dug through pattern after pattern. It's a very simple, it's just a raglan sweater.
Yeah.
very simple, I think stockinette, or not stockinette, garter, wristband, and
Mhm.
then around the hood. So I think I might have showed that. Did I show that last week? I can't remember, but
I think you were talking, yeah, you showed the yarn because you were going to start, you were hoping to start it, but you wanted to finish the hat first.
I wound all the yarn this week, and all the skeins are slightly different, which is probably why it's not being carried anymore. But I don't know, maybe they're gone. Maybe we need to pull out another box from downstairs. And then I cast on, this is the neckline, and then it'll increase each shoulder line from here. Kind of take like there's kind of, and that's
There you go.
how Mother is gonna look. So she's very excited to have a new sweater. She's been asking for a while. That's
Yeah.
what I really worked on this week. I have no haul, but I thought before we do haul, I was just going to show this thing that somebody sent to me. Actually, no, my friend was given a bunch of hand-me-down cross-stitch type stuff, and she didn't want it all, so she gave it to me a while ago. And in it was one of these things. Have you ever seen these? It is so nice, actually, for stitching. So it is, I'm sure it's from, it says Office Depot. So it's not a stitching thing. It's a document like holder.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure people have seen these, and you know, you do this,
Yeah.
props up. This is so perfect for patterns because it also does this. So I can put my patterns on it, propped up on a little like TV stand right in front of me, and I'm not having to constantly like look down and find where I was at in my pattern because it's right there.
Nice.
I just thought if you want to find one of these, anybody, I'm sure they're still at Office Depot. And I thought that it's actually made stitching a lot nicer too, because I can just prop up my pattern.
I wonder if I could just pop that on the arm of my couch.
Yeah, yours might be flat enough. Mine is a leather, like rounded.
Oh, it's pretty
kind of
flat. Yeah.
But yours might, yeah, just prop up like that. And I just have one of those like lap TV trays that I kind of pull right up to the couch and put it right on the edge. I put my my tablet on there when I'm doing Pattern Keeper and just zoom in, and I'm not like constantly having to juggle stuff on my lap that way. So that's been really nice.
I have a lumbar support kind of pillow that I lay down next to me, and I prop my pattern, just lay it there. So because I got my magnifier right in front of me, so I'm looking down.
Right. I was kind of getting tired of looking down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, stuff just slides around, and I would constantly be dropping stuff and picking up pieces. I don't know. This has made all the difference because it flips. So it's not like it can just, like that little shepherd's bush. I just like, well, actually that's a pamphlet. So I think I just leaned it here and it stayed there, and I could.
Yeah.
So that's just a little tip. If you want to find one of these, I'll look on Office Depot's website and see if I find it and link it down below, because it's like a clipboard, but it props up, and that's been.
Somebody new just gave you a bunch of, somebody new?
No, last spring, my friend Bethany co-op, just somebody like a grandmother, friend of a
that's right.
Whatever, gave her a bunch of stuff. And some of it was like scroll frames that are not like they're not very nice ones. They're not really usable, probably some of them, but this was in all that stuff. And I was like, oh, I threw it down with all the other stuff that I kind of wasn't sure what to do with at that point. And
then you're like,
this month, I was like, I wish I had a way to prop up my pattern. And then I thought, I do have a way to prop up my pattern. So I love it. It's great. And that I don't have any haul, so that's in lieu of haul.
I don't really have any haul either, but I'm looking at the shop that I bought because I bought one of those bobbins that you're talking about. I can't
remember. I probably tagged it if you
talked about them, and mine's a little bunny.
Oh, that's so cute.
But I'm looking at her shop, and she doesn't say she's on a break, but
she doesn't have anything.
Only one thing comes up, and it's just her general picture that she always had. But then when you go to style, select an option, either she's just all sold, like it'll say $5, but there's no, if you click on it, maybe if you click on like Joy Bear, nothing, no picture comes up, nothing. Weird. And she's not.
That's weird. Maybe so many people clicked over from our video and bought her. I
I
don't
don't know, but she's like, doesn't have anything in her shop. She used to have a bunch of stuff in her shop, but it doesn't say she's on a break or anything. So I have no idea what's going on with her. It's kind of a bummer. I've kind of been watching because I wanted to buy another one.
Yeah, I need to probably.
Yeah, but I don't see anything else really like it. I'll have to do a deep dive, I guess. I mean, you can buy plain ones in packages on Amazon of those. What are they called? They're like a flexible.
There's a funny name for them, I thought.
Yeah, I'm sure I could find them on Amazon if I had to look again.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the cute ones. I thought, well, that's a
Those would
bummer.
be so easy. You get hot glue and a little like polymer clay button, and there you go.
Yeah, you could.
Hot glue.
She uses some kind of glue though that smelled really bad when it first came. I had to stick it in the drawer to get it away, like an epoxy or something.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't done it. I don't have enough to park yet to need it, but eventually.
I do, so I should probably
Yeah. Right now the hair clip's working.
Yeah, that was the other. We have a million of those with all the girls we've got. So
They kind of hang there. I just kind of roll them up and
yeah.
I am. Yeah, I'm thinking I don't have any haul. I didn't go anywhere to really buy anything this week. Was a pretty good girl. I started my Christmas shopping. That's what I did. I started Christmas shopping online.
Good for you.
But yeah, I just went to the grocery store a couple times. I didn't go to nowhere. Didn't buy nothing. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, we didn't either. I'm trying to be about that puppy, so I have to be very frugal this month.
Yeah, that was your big purchase.
That was our big spend.
But I do plan on going to Threadneedle Street next week because I need to get our prize for Shepherd's Bush.
Oh yeah. Well, what are your plans this week?
Well, my plan is to finish up my whip go. I really want to get that caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be Ring Around the Rose Tree, Hawk Run Hollow Christmas. Then that's done. And then my magazine monthly theme, it's kind of a bust. I don't think I'm not going to meet all my goals probably because I'm being still kind of rebellious. I'm going to work on the Shepherd's Bush piece. And I would kind of like, I think I will try to, my Thankful Hearts, my focus piece, those funky little trees.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to focus on doing the back stitching for those and get that. I really wanted to make that a finish. That's my biggest goal on this paper is to finish that project. The rest of them are all just kind of superfluous. It's almost time to start thinking about November.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I'm not even going to bother getting the October one out because I didn't do a magazine monthly this month. I just didn't get organized in time. And I think I just maybe needed a break from it for a month. But I am ready to do November and kind of I'd probably put a wheel together and spin because every week I'm like, oh, what should I work on? And I'll pull something out and I'm always happy with what I pull out. But that means I'm not touching some things that I think I don't want to work on, but I'm always happy when I do.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking
what I've stitched is lower this month.
I'm kind of wondering if on my November one, I'll focus on Christmas stitching and kind of put the fall stuff away.
Yeah.
Fall stitching away, maybe. I don't know. Because Christmas stitching in December is just 1 month. I mean, it's like, and it's a busy month. So I don't tend to stitch as much.
Yeah.
Although really not that busy for us. We're not doing that much anymore. We're pretty boring people.
Well, but we're too busy in December for me to stitch that much compared to usual. So
I did want to knit. I was hoping to knit these little, why is my ring going off at my front door? Oh no. There was these little teddy bears I was going to knit for Penny and Junie, but I don't know if I'm going to get to them.
Time to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stress yourself out.
Yeah, I might make that a goal for next year and start that soon.
Hello, timer. Whose is that?
We put a little wind-up timer in the room where they're at.
I looked at Grocery Outlet when I was there shopping and they didn't have any. Often they have a lot of kitchen goods and then I forgot. So I'll probably put it on my Walmart order.
Yeah.
I did pick up last week and it was so nice. I was like, oh, I just got to do that again.
Yeah, I did a big shop in person last Sunday, and I'm gonna treat myself to a grocery pickup this week.
Yeah, it's nice.
I need a ton.
Don't need much either. I just need a few things of produce and stuff. I've kind of bought ahead this month. Week. So last week, I guess.
Yeah. What are your plans then? Your wheel?
I think
you're not gonna make a wheel?
I don't have a wheel. I think I'm going to try to work on my WIPCO pieces. I have the 2 of them.
Yeah.
And I do really want, I just do 2 hours each. So that's really just a couple evenings of stitching on one and then the other. I thought of something else I really wanted to do. What was it? I can't remember now. I thought of it while you were talking. I can't remember, but one of my WIPCO ones is stocking. So I need to gather up all the threads, and that's what I said I was going to do last week, and then I never did because I'm kind of aimless. And then I will probably print out the November magazine monthly and get that organized. So that's one of my goals this week.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. I don't really have any specific goals. Oh, my shepherd's bush. You know, it would be really fun to actually finish my shepherd's bush because it's so little. I probably could finish at least the stitching on it, but we'll see. I don't know if I'll be able to manage that and the WIPCO.
Yeah.
It feels like I should be able to, but I'm not going to like stress myself out. I have November to finish it, and then I could still have it fully finished for this Christmas. So.
Oh yeah, you'd have it done. You'll have it done by Christmas for sure. I might be able to get my stitching done on my shepherd's bush, but I probably wouldn't get it assembled because it's a fob.
It's a fob, and mine is a ornament, right? Yeah. The other thing I wanted to do, I still have not finished my little fall quilt because I just haven't had any time to go down to my sewing machine, and I really want to figure out how to put the batting in it and the backing. I have all the materials I think for it, except for maybe something I need for binding. I need to like do a little more figuring, but I want to finish that so I can just display it and have it to sit under and stuff. So that's kind of one of my goals this week.
That would be a nice thing to have done.
Yeah, just check that off.
Because you'd be able to use it all November and you can use it all year round, but.
Well, it's so fallish, I wouldn't use it all year round.
Yeah.
So those are kind of my plans. I was looking for my pin, but where I put it. We had a giveaway last week.
We did. We gave away Tiny Modernist's Autumn House on a Hill. And it is adorable.
So cute. And the word that we wanted you to use was squirrel. So when I did a random comment generator for squirrel, the winner for this is Bridget Drew. So congratulations, Bridget. Go ahead and email me at the email that's in the description box below. It's stitchandstuffxs@gmail.com, and let me know your name. If you could let me know just squirrel, just in case I it helps me stay organized if you can do that. And then your mailing address. We'll get that out to you as soon as we can. And then this week we have another giveaway. Look at us being so on top of it.
Wait, we were gonna re-announce this one.
Oh yeah, that's right. This one was we had a giveaway for this one a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't heard from the winner. The winner for that is Lawana Maurer. I hope I'm saying that Maurer. And I haven't heard from Lawana yet. So if you're watching, Lawana, go ahead and also email me at the email in the description box and let me know your mailing address, and we'll get that out to you as well. So hopefully,
I think we'll do we'll just do this last reminder, and if we don't hear from her, then we'll just recycle it back through, because I don't like having. I mean, I know it takes me a while to get them sent out, but I don't like just having them waiting here,
floating around.
Yeah. Okay,
and then this week, sorry, we have a new giveaway. This was actually, somebody gave this to us, and none of us were really dying to stitch it. And I thought, oh, this would be a sweet giveaway. It's Simplicity by Little House Needlework. This cute bird and the flower. Yeah, so cute. And I was going to check and see Little House Needleworks, if it is DMC. It has, what is that? Crescent Colors, which is Classic Colorworks, but it does have DMC alternatives to it. So it's really cute. So the word to use for this, if you're interested in winning this in a giveaway, is the word simple. Simple. So use that in your comment below if you might want to win this cute little design. I think I talked about a few weeks ago that Little House Needleworks is what got me back into stitching again after I kind of taken a long break when the girls were really little.
Yeah.
I think I had something going and then I finished it and then I didn't ever have, I didn't know what to stitch for a long time. And a friend sent me, well, it was Off the Grid Needle Arts.
I remember you telling me about her
And
sending you that little Forest Friends
she
one.
sent me two, that one and then one that I stitched for my mother-in-law, and it was like a coffee one.
Yeah.
So I always have kind of a fondness when I look at Little House Needleworks patterns because it reminds me of just like the joy of, I think she even sent me fabric, and I had lots of DMC and I was living in the tiny little house before we moved to this house. And I just really needed something happy to work on in the evenings.
It was living in a pool house.
I was living in a pool house with my 3 children, 1 big room and a bathroom and a little tiny kitchen over the Christmas season for 3 months. It was a lot. I really needed something happy, and that was so sweet that she sent me. So I would feel so thankful, and it makes me happy to kind of pass stash that way too. So
yeah,
I would have guessed at that time that I would have a cross stitch channel that I was sending things to people. So funny.
I know. It's just been a whirlwind of a few years, hasn't it?
Has been. It's
What
crazy.
year would that have been? 2018? 2000?
It was.
Where were you living in that house?
We moved in on Inauguration Day for Trump. Was that 2016?
Wow, is that long ago?
And so we were living 2015 to 2016 is when we lived. Mostly the fall and winter of 2015.
Right. I didn't realize that long ago.
Right? 2016.
Yeah. It was
2020 was the next. Or no, maybe it's the election was in 2016, wasn't it? And the inauguration in 2017. I don't know. I can never remember. Yeah. Election year was 2016. So it was 2016.
Wow. That's a long time ago though.
It'd be 6 years. Yeah.
Wow.
So crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy. What are you reading? Did you read anything this week?
I read a little bit of my Love from London, but not as much as I should have. Yeah.
That's okay. You had kind of a busy week.
I did. This was the book I was telling you about that I had bought and it was on my coffee table.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were going to bring it and show.
It's by Hannah Witten. I don't know why her name sounds familiar. I don't think I've read anything by her. She was endorsed by Jodi Picoult, Anna Bright. It's called For the Wolf.
It's a really pretty cover.
And this is the first in at least a 2-part series. I don't know if there's going to be 3. The blurb says, as the only second daughter born in centuries, Red has one purpose: to be sacrificed to the wolf in the Wilderwood in the hope he'll return the world's captured gods. Red is almost relieved to go. Plagued by a dangerous power she can't control, she knows that at least in the Wilderwood, she can't hurt those she loves again. But the legends lie. The wolf is a man, not a monster. Her magic is a calling, not a curse. And if she doesn't learn how to use it, the monsters the gods have become will swallow the Wilderwood and her world whole. I know, it's kind of a fantasy. I do like fantasy once in a while.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then the second book, I can't remember what it's called, but I'm pretty sure there's a second book. So anyway, I'm kind of thinking about starting this.
Fun.
Too, as a real book.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be nice to, I think I used to think, okay, I'm going to stitch on my lunch break, but I really, by the time I get my lunch, and I can't really eat and
kind
stitch.
of zoning out, probably.
Yeah, and I can't, and so I'm thinking, even I'm at home, I mean, I could, but I could eat and then, eat and work and then stitch, but I just don't do that.
You have to put your book where you're going to be.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking maybe I'll make this my lunch break week or something and just read. Because I used to read on my lunch break all the time, and it was really nice. I would either knit or read. And it was a kind of a calming, and it was easy and quick to pick up. That's the thing. When I cross stitch, I have to figure out what I'm going to work on. I got to get my magnet board out. I got to get my magnifier. I got to get myself all situated. But I can just pick my knitting up anywhere.
Yeah.
Or pick up a book.
Ooh, you're muted. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Did you up your space bar? Oh, I can hear you now. Okay.
Oh, that's weird. I must have bumped it.
Weird. Oh. Maybe you set your book down and bumped it or something?
Maybe. I don't know what you can hear.
That last little bit.
I just need to be more intentional in my lunch breaks because I don't tend to take them. I mean, what I'll do is I'll sit here at my desk and I'll eat and maybe I'll play around online.
Mhm.
But I on the computer all day. I need to take a break from the
Be
computer.
off it for a while, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of one thing I've been thinking about is just having my lunch in the other room and having the book there and just reading for a little bit. And reading physical books doesn't work in bed for me anymore. So this has to be a time to read other than the bathroom. I don't really read in the bathroom. I play games on my phone in the bathroom. I play Phase 10.
Yeah.
Or look at a magazine. I don't spend much time in there. I'm not hiding from kids like I used to.
Yeah. You're not just sitting in there like a man.
I'm not hiding from my kids.
I put a book in there. The only time I spend time in the bathroom is if I'm sitting there because I want to read that book. Like I'm not going in there and I need a book to kill time. It's like if I put a book in there, then I might sit in there and read for a few minutes longer than I would otherwise. But usually it's like, no, I have too much to do. In, out, I've got to get on.
Yeah.
But I did have a book that Millie was wanting me to read in there. And then we had to go back to the library. I wasn't really reading it. I don't know why. Probably because I feel like I have a lot to do all the time. So I wasn't really sitting in there.
And you've got a lot of books going.
And I do have a lot of books going. And that one I was enjoying it. It was about a little girl who has cerebral palsy and doesn't speak, couldn't speak. And so I was enjoying that. Millie really enjoyed it, but I just needed to take it back to the library.
Yeah.
But I am reading, I do have a lot going on, but I've been reading this one consistently, Silmarillion, which I am enjoying. I have never read that before, but I've read The Hobbit. What? Hurry up. Millie wants me to hurry because she wants it. I don't think it's going to be quite what you think it is. It's really almost like reading a history textbook.
Yeah, it's not like the Lord of the Rings.
It's not like a story.
I know.
You'll probably enjoy it to some extent, but I wouldn't have probably enjoyed this in 6th grade.
I didn't enjoy it as an
much
adult.
more like a mythological story. So, but I am enjoying it because I do think it's interesting, and I'm so familiar now. I've read The Lord of the Rings 2 or 3 times. I've read The Hobbit once or twice. Mm-hmm. So now I'm very familiar with the world that I
think that would make a difference for that book too.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't read the other things, the meanings of some of this stuff, still interesting, but it's like the early ancient history.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I picked back up, I had finished, what did I finish? Oh, Misery. And I hadn't really found another story. So I decided this was on my shelf. I had kind of put it down because it's just so long that I kind of think I got a little discouraged.
Well, and they're not riveting, there's not a big mystery. They're just those, to me, they're just comfort, family dynamic.
Family drama. And I really do like it.
I call them character driven books.
Yeah, it's kind of a
just kind of
saga kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is Light a Penny Candle by Maeve Binchy. And this is my first book ever by her, actually. I've read Rosamund Pilcher, who I always put in the same category, probably because you read both of them when I was growing up.
I read them simultaneously.
But I had never read, I don't think, anything by Maeve Binchy. And it is good. There's some heavy stuff in it, but it's good.
Yeah, her books aren't fluff. They're not chick lit.
No, it's not just fluffy.
No. And Rosamund Pilcher wasn't either. There was definitely...
Yeah.
I feel like with Maeve Binchy, some of her books might build, I don't know if her earlier ones did, but her later books, there's crossover of characters. So I don't know if Light a Penny Candle is one of those or
I'm
not.
not sure either. This one is set during World War II, but in Ireland. And so all the family dynamics, the little girl is being cared for by her mom's old school friend, but the mom and the old school friend are not basically her mom is, well, it's kind of hard to tell because it's I'm not entirely sure how reliable the narrators are in their view of the mom, but I think the mom is kind of very not perfectionist, but image driven. The mom who's in London, and they send the little girl to this huge Irish family, which is totally different than anything she's ever experienced.
I kind of remember that one.
But also there's genuine love and tenderness in that family where she never really experienced that in her.
Yeah.
I don't know if the characters will overlap, but
I don't think that's one that overlaps later. I don't know what order that was written, but
yeah, I'm not sure either.
I can't even tell you which books were those because I haven't seen her books for a while. I'd have to look at them online or something, but
it's good. I kind of thought, okay, so I think it's a 580 page book. I thought, well, if I read 6 pages in it a day, I can make good progress. You know, it'll still take me months, but sometimes if I put like a page goal on, then it keeps me kind of going through really big books like that I would otherwise kind of be like, oh, this is going to take me a year.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I thought I would talk about, I think I did mention this book before, but I don't know if I had started reading it. This is The Brendan Voyage by Tim Severin. Did I talk about this before?
No, I don't think so.
This is actually a book that Liddy's assigned to read. It's edited, it's a series by John Krakauer, who did that Into Thin Air and Into the Wild, some of those
Ton of those,
adventure books. So Tim Severin is well, I don't know if he's an academic, I'm not entirely sure, but he knew of the mythology of Saint Brendan taking a little leather boat and traveling to the Americas way before the Vikings, before Columbus. And I was trying to 6th century. So it says, could an Irish monk in the 6th century really have sailed all the way across the Atlantic in a small open boat, beating Columbus to the New World by almost 1,000 years? Relying on the medieval text of St. Brendan, award-winning adventure writer Tim Severin painstakingly researched and built a boat identical to the leather curragh that carried Brendan on his epic voyage. So he found all of these hide makers and different sources for these kind of traditional things. This is a picture of the actual boat, which is called Brendan, and him on it. So the adventure is basically to prove, could he have done this? Is this real or is this mythology?
Wow.
I assume because there's a whole book written about it, it's real. He really did probably do that. But
there was a book like that when I was growing up is it called Ratiki? It was something similar.
Kon-Tiki.
Yes.
Classic in the tradition of Kon-Tiki.
They rebuild a boat from maybe the Vikings. I don't remember what the time period was. And they do try to sail it. So that's reminds me of that.
It's a similar kind of thing. So it's him and a crew of 3 in this. I mean, it truly is oxhide, leather is what the boat is made out of, which should just rot in the salt water. But then they follow all of the same specs that St. Brendan basically writes about in his book, which is called, I think book is called the Navigatio, and it kind of details his travels and how they used fat and grease to coat the leather, and that's what they do this in terms of the actual sailing and the food and their clothes. He's not worried about imitating all of that. He's really just seeing, can we do this in this boat? So
probably has a supply ship floating along with him with supplies.
I don't think they did, but they do have a radio to call. And they land at places along the way. So they're going to go, which is what they're going the route that they think Brendan did, up and down.
So does the myth,
it basically, I think, puts Brendan in Canada.
And does he go back? So he comes to Canada and goes back to Europe?
He went back to Europe, because he went back and he wrote his book, and
Interesting. Never even heard of that before. That's interesting.
Super interesting, and I'm enjoying it a lot.
Uh-huh.
Sailing to America in a leather boat to prove the legend of the Irish sailor saints. 1,000 years before. Really interesting, really enjoyable.
Huh.
Kind of an adventure type book.
Yeah.
I do like those now and then. So that's been fun.
Well, I have to say, on the topic of reading, so on a personal note, as a homeschooling mom, my kids, I taught them to read. We read a lot like Sarah does with her girls. In fact, my younger 2 boys, well, even Sarah and Andrew, my older 2, towards the end of their years home, we went to a literature-based curriculum, lots of reading, right? But then my boys especially got into college, got into gaming, don't read, blah, blah, blah. But just recently, my youngest son asked for a Kindle for his birthday because his wife is reading a lot. And she's in a little book club now. And I think she's been kind of encouraging him to read. They were reading Harry Potter out loud at night together. So I thought, maybe he's going to start reading again. And then Yeah, on Friday when we were at the hospital, my son that was with me said, do you have a Kindle, Mom? I said, yeah, I've had tons of Kindles. I said, I have a Paperwhite. He goes, oh, I don't think I knew that. And I said, yeah, I got one a couple of years ago for Christmas. I love it. So lightweight and it's not that glare like the fire. And he goes, oh yeah, he says, I think I'm going to put on my Christmas list a Kindle, because I said I have one, but it's so old that the response time when you turn the pages is really slow after compared to his wife's. And I thought,
Right.
oh, my boys that have become, they're
He
growing
was
up.
telling me the other day what he's reading too. Like he's reading
Yeah.
some book. I can't remember what it was now, but
Yeah, he told me he finished a book. He joined Libby, because apparently with Libby is how you can get books from the library onto a Kindle.
yeah.
But he said a bunch of stuff is 5 to 6 weeks out. Yeah, what was he? He was reading a motivational book
Yeah.
about some guy that was he an athlete? I don't remember. What he
Yeah.
told me.
I might have
But
been.
anyway, I was just like, oh, and I was telling your dad that, and he goes, Kim, I didn't really start reading until I was a dad and
Yeah.
older. He was in his late.
And I never really realized that till I was an adult when you said that, because I remember him reading, because by the time he probably started to read is probably by the time I would remember him having books.
Yeah.
And reading things to us like the Dragon Bone Chair and Narnia and things like.
Yeah. And I really do. I mean, I can kind of remember the pivotal moment when he started really reading for pleasure. He read nonfiction, like, Christian theology books, stuff, because he was in the ministry at that early on. And then later on, he just didn't read anything. I don't know what he did. He didn't have a computer to play on. I'm not sure what he did. He worked 2 jobs. But the first time I really remember him really enjoy talking about a book and enjoying a book was at the ocean when I got him to read The Hobbit. He had never even heard of The Hobbit. Like his education did not have any literature basically in it.
Yeah, so crazy.
And then from there, it just opened a whole new door to him. He reads all the time. I mean, well, he listens to books on tape a lot in the mail Jeep. It'll be interesting to see what happens when he retires and he's not in his Jeep all day. If he'll pick up more books or put books on his, he is like me. He does most of his book reading on his tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a bummer, because when we were at the ocean, couldn't read his tablet because it's the glare. Whereas my Paperwhite, I could have.
Right.
So we ended up going to the bookstore and finding a book, but then he just felt so cruddy that he didn't really read much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, there's hope, by the way. Children do come back to things sometimes.
Come back. It's those early seeds that we plant that stick with them forever when they're old. I also am listening. I'm at the very end of Personal Recollections of Joan of Arc by Mark Twain with the Craftlit podcast that I listen to. I have one more episode, like 2 more chapters. So I've been listening to that, and I've been listening to it. Well, I mean, I've listened to it anyways, but it was perfect timing because that's another one of Lydia's books. So I'm going to probably let her listen to it on the podcast, where she does little, Heather Ordover is the host, and she does little like vocab type lessons or background info that she does some research on. And so that'll be fun.
A little scary face out of here. I saw that weird face you made. Yeah.
Anyway, so
yeah,
that's what we've been doing. That's all I got. If you did the shepherd's bush, remember to email me photos so we can enter you in a drawing.
And remember, you don't have to have finished it. We just want to see that you've started it and made some progress.
Yeah, just that you did a little stitching along on it.
Yeah.
No,
I think I kind of did call it a start along.
If you did finish it, great. If you didn't, also great. Start along. Yeah.
Start along. That's what I feel like. Knit alongs always were very close-ended. Like you needed to finish this project by this date. And knitting,
where my pen went?
I feel like it lends itself more to deadline. Cross stitch does not lend itself to a deadline to me.
Unless you're really stitching monogamously, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
And you might be like, I need to do this many stitches a day to get this far. Kind of like with knitting.
See anybody doing a stitch along where you have to have it finished by this date kind of thing. They always seem a little open-ended.
Maybe we should do one of those.
It'd fail.
Like we're all going to stitch this tiny small and have it done in 10 weeks.
10 years.
10 years. And you have to have it fully finished by then. That would be motivating.
I'm looking around. I feel like there's something else I wanted to show or say, but I can't remember what it is now. Oh, next week.
Yep. Okay.
And it'll be next week will be the end of October.
I know, it's so weird.
Tell Lydia I need her birthday list.
I have it on the fridge. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you.
Okay. So if I'm going to send them to her, I need to get them and
Yeah.
get going on that.
Yeah.
Yikes, 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 yikes.
I know. I need to start shopping for her too.
I did just throw away the flowers from the baby shower from 2 weeks ago.
Did they last that long or were they just yucky?
They did.
Wow.
There were stargazer lilies in there, and not all of them had opened, and they slowly have opened.
Oh.
One night we were sitting in the living room watching TV, and Dad's like, "What's that perfume you have on?" I said, "It's not me. It's the stargazers behind you."
They're
They
so
would,
beautiful.
every once in a while, you just get a whiff of them like that. They just.
Oh, I wish I had brought over the peony that my friend, not peony, the dahlia that my friend grew, but I don't think there's anybody to grab it for me. I'm going to go grab it really quick. This is so pretty. I think it still looks good.
They last a while. I feel like, oh, sorry. I don't know why I'm so tired.
My friend from our homeschool co-op grows like gorgeous flowers. And look at this. And it's
Oh,
a little
wow.
bedraggled now but it was kind of a little fuller. But isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
We're gonna go over there tomorrow because she's kind of cleaning out stuff. See, it's kind of like wrinkly back there now, but if she has any left, she said you can cut any flowers you want when you come over tomorrow. So
Maybe when I have my new house, I'll try to grow some dahlias again. I used to have dahlias.
I know, I really would like to. I told Jesse maybe in the next few years I'm going to get a bunch of bulbs. Maybe next year for my birthday, that's all I'll ask for is bulbs. Because you plant them in the fall, then they're ready to go the next year. So
Yeah.
so
that's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
It was so sweet to get to take that home.
Yeah, I've never seen one quite that frilly.
And I'm pretty sure it's a dahlia. I guess I assumed it was because it looked like one. It's just so big and curly.
I think it's got to be a form of a dahlia.
Not a peony. It's not a. It doesn't have.
No,
like
and especially if it's blooming right now, because I feel like dahlias are late summer.
it kind of has a really faint kind of honey nectar smell too.
Wow.
A lot of dahlias don't, I feel like, have a scent.
No, not much smell, huh?
Yeah, it's just gentle. It's not very invasive. But anyway.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm jealous. I want some of those in my yard.
I know, me too. Well, thank you, friends, for watching
Yeah.
and joining us to chat this week.
I hope you have a great week and lots of stitching and stay well. Lots of crap going around. I feel like.